You are 25 years old, and $500 feels like a lot of money to give up every month. And not in a way that's hard to explain, in a way that is painfully simple. Rent is due. The car needs new tires. A friend is getting married in the spring, and you are expected to show up for 3 separate events before the actual wedding. That $500 isn't sitting there waiting to be invested. It's already spoken for, mentally, long before it arrives in your bank account. That is the condition most people live inside of. Not broke, not wealthy, but spoken for. Every dollar is claimed before it even lands. You have heard about investing. You have probably opened an app at some point, stared at the interface, felt a low-grade anxiety about doing something wrong, and closed it. The options felt like a test you hadn't studied for. Index funds, expense ratios, dividend reinvestment, the language wasn't designed to welcome you. It was designed for people who already had money. But something happened recently. A number crossed your feed. Projection. Someone showed what $500 a month becomes over 30 years at a historically average market return. The number was large enough that you looked at it twice. It was large enough that you felt something between disbelief and a specific kind of grief. The grief of someone who has just understood that time is the one resource you cannot earn back. That number is where the story begins. You decide to start, not because you have a perfect plan, but because you understand with sudden clarity that not starting is also a decision, and that decision has a cost. The cost of not starting is invisible. It doesn't show up on a statement. It doesn't arrive as a bill. It accumulates silently in the distance between what you will have and what you could have had. You set up an automatic transfer. $500 leaves your checking account on the first of the month. It isn't optional. It isn't subject to negotiation. It leaves on schedule regardless of what else is happening. This decision, which feels minor today, is the most important financial move you will make this decade. A year goes by. The account holds $6,000 plus a little market return. It's not impressive yet, but you have done something you didn't fully realize you were doing. You changed your relationship with that $500. It no longer feels like deprivation. It feels like infrastructure. You recalibrated your lifestyle around a smaller number, and you didn't feel the contraction the way you feared you would. That adjustment is worth more than the balance in the account. The account can be rebuilt if something goes wrong, but the habit of living below your means, that has to be built month by month until it becomes the default. 10 years in, something shifts. The account crosses the $100,000 threshold. Below that, it felt like a savings vehicle. Above it, it begins to feel like a system that runs independently of your daily decisions. In a good year, the market returns more in growth than you contribute in cash. You have arrived at the crossover point. You are no longer the primary engine of growth. The compounding is, you look back at your 25-year-old self, staring at that first small balance, wondering if any of this was real. You remember the trips you didn't take, the things you didn't buy. None of those moments felt significant at the time. Together, they built a foundation that is now load-bearing. 30 years later, the account holds over $500,000. You contributed less than $200,000 of your own money. The market provided the rest. For every dollar you put in, the market returned $2 on top of it. That ratio isn't an advertisement. It's arithmetic applied to time. Somewhere in this country, a 25-year-old is looking at their bank account right now. They have $500 that hasn't been assigned a purpose yet. They are deciding whether that money becomes something or becomes nothing. A dinner, a weekend, a purchase they won't remember in 6 months. They don't know yet that they aren't making a $500 decision. They are making a $300,000 decision. The math does not care how you feel about it. Compounding does not require your confidence. It requires only your consistency. The 30 years will pass regardless. The only question is, what will be in the account when they do?